we're going to baggage claim, and Danny's like, "Yo, man, look at this," and he's showing us footage of the Lakers game, and he's like, "Yo, this is a big deal. The Lakers game got stopped."
Yeah, so it was the Warriors here in L.A. Fourth quarter, the Lakers were able to cut their deficit in half. They had been trailing by like 10, I think. AD went out earlier in the game. He got poked in the eye, and it was swollen shut. So AD's out.
Is that a Three Stooges move?
Right? LeBron drops 40, bringing the Lakers back. The fourth quarter was great action, and then all of a sudden it stops for a second review in the fourth. And this review was to see if Draymond Green's toe touched the line or not. It took forever, to the point where the announcers were just besides themselves. So that happens, and then they're like, finally, they get the call, Lakers ball. LeBron brings the ball up. Nope, refs blow the whistles. They couldn't get the shot clock to restart.
Have you seen these crazy angles? I remember this happened. I want to talk about the shot clock, but I remember this happened with LeBron. Earlier it was this year, right? Where he was right on the line.
That's right, yeah.
And they go all these different angles, Rich, where from one angle it looks like he's on the line, but from another angle you could see that the shoe is over the line, but he's not touching the line.
That's why in the NFL. That's why in the NFL, my favorite word, pellets.
Yeah.
When a guy drags his foot, you always see like those little turf or even natural grass pellets. Yeah.
Draymond threw the ball off of Austin Reeves as he was falling out of bounds. He traveled while he was doing it, but they were like, the announcers said, well, you can't review the travel, but obviously they can review his toe touching the line.
His little tootsies.
It took a long time, to the point where the crowd started booing. Everybody was restless. So now when LeBron gets the ball and the whistle is blown again because the clock won't restart, you could imagine what everybody was thinking. Are you kidding me? After all that, now this? LeBron tried to bring the ball back in 3 more times. They blew the whistle 3 more times, stopping the game. It was a 21-minute delay there at Crypto. Mike Breen on the broadcast said, I've been in the NBA for over 30 years now. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Because what they should have done is have Lawrence Tanner, the voice of the Lakers there inside the arena, just count everybody down. You've seen that before, where he'll be like 15, 10,
So every time they tried to inbound the ball, they thought the clock was going to work, and it didn't.
Exactly.
That's 3 times.
4 total.
4 total. Yeah, that is just absurd. So as a fan, forget about being at home. At least you're at home. You can walk back to the fridge, come back. You're at the game. You're like, come on.
Now, at one point, LeBron walked over to Doris Burke and he joked, I'm too old for this bleep. And he's laughing, but he also was frustrated to the point where he bounced the ball all the way up to the top of the arena, and the Warriors wanted a technical called on him, but everyone's laughing like, yeah, right, he has the right to be this frustrated.
LeBron needs a buffer day.
Could we review it? No.
Yeah.
So when you think about technical issues in the world of sports, now, nothing drives me more insane. You'll never hear me say it. When something goes wrong on a radio or TV broadcast, when someone hops on the mic and they're like, oh, we're having technical difficulties, it makes my butt itch. I'm like, yeah. Because I'm like, be professional, roll with it. Behind
Is that
the
why
scenes.
you carry Desitin?
Yeah, that's why I carry Desitin. No, I'm like, stop. When I hear a host or somebody be like, we're having some major difficulties here. Like, dude,
because the
get
listener,
some improv chops.
You got to think the listener doesn't care about what you're dealing with, right? The listener's like, yeah, that's great. Just like entertain me.
Yeah, don't point out errors unless you want to flash a light on it.
And it's the worst. It's the worst feeling, too, as a broadcaster, because it happens.
Unless it's so apparent and it's funny. But when there's technical issues in anything, I could see the aggravation. In fact, this morning when we were doing our podcast at my house, Spectrum, the internet, went down in the valley. Like, so, we're going in and out. That's small potatoes. That's a at-home podcast. Did you see over the weekend, if we're going to talk about the Lakers-Warriors, the Atlantic 10 basketball championship game, did you see the confetti came down during the game?
It was fantastic.
Someone pressed the wrong button. It was Virginia Commonwealth and...
Oops.
God, I don't even remember. But I just know that... Oh, man. I'm trying to remember.
It said someone hit the wrong button.
What button were they supposed to hit?
Me.
The horn?
No, someone hit a button, and all of a sudden, like, the end of the game championship confetti
that is so
comes down
embarrassing.
in the second half of the game.
Yeah, so embarrassing.
They have to start doing a little cleanup on aisle 2.
So,
yeah, it was Duquesne and VCU.
Oh yeah, that's just embarrassing.
Who is it? Who was on the radio call?
Duquesne.
I keep forgetting.
Yeah,
Duquesne.
Yes.
I keep forgetting his name on the radio call. Hold on, it'll come back to me.
Did he say technical difficulties?
Kevin, was Kevin Harlan doing it?
It was Kevin Harlan. Yes, it was Kevin Harlan. So in true Kevin Harlan fashion, he delivered a tremendous call where he's just excited for chaos. Every time Kevin Harlan is near a game somewhere, chaos happens 50% of the time.
I thought that was pretty cool. Now, I'm a Niners fan, so I was actually at the Super Bowl where Beyonce's halftime show.
Didn't you trip over the electrical cord?
I know you like to tell people I tripped over the cord or my head
I
hit something.
believe that story. I've said that so many times. I actually have a visual. I can believe that.
But when I was at that Super Bowl, put yourself in the shoes of people that were at that game, that were lucky enough to be there. You're at the Super Bowl.
You know what a frantic moment that must have been like behind the scenes when the power went out? How embarrassing.
That trumps the confetti. That trumps the shot clock in the NBA. The Super Bowl 2013, Niners-Ravens, halftime's over. At that game, think about this. When you're at that game, you're wondering, what is everyone on TV watching? What are they saying? Because you're there like, everyone in the crowd's looking at the lights like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
The lights aren't working and they're not playing. It's been a little while now. All we're thinking the whole time, anyone that was in New Orleans is thinking, what is everyone seeing on TV right now?
Little did they know Rich tripped over the electrical cord. Yeah. Little did they know.
Oh, he unplugged it to charge his phone.
Yeah. Rich unplugged it because he needed a quick
I
charge.
I had an older iPhone back then. But if you can think of any others, technical difficulties in sports where it really cramped, confetti falling too soon.
Not only
shot
that,
clock,
Rich,
that was a big one for the
it
Lakers
could be
Warriors.
something as simple as like you had people over for a big fight or a big game, and your TV wasn't working. You're caught in that embarrassing moment.
Luckily, it was only you and me and like I think one or two of our buddies. But Danny, we were streaming a fight at my house, and we were getting a lot of like frozen screen. And it's like, we're watching a fight.
Or you know when you go to somebody's house and they try to like stream it from their phone because they're doing it illegally.
From a Russian website.
Yeah, it's gonna work just great. And you get there and you're like, dude, come on, it's not working.
Dude, I came here to watch a fight. Order it or something.
Yeah. Now, this weekend at the Lakers game, there was some tech difficulties. Danny G was all about it. He was telling us. We were like sort of buzzed already. Yo, man, you got to hear what's going on.
It was so frustrating that it was funny, but it totally iced the game for both. Both teams came out cold after the 21-minute delay.
Well, I want to hear Mike Breen, courtesy of ABC. Take a listen.
Still 7-point game, and the clock's not moving. Boy, oh boy, James in frustration just throws the ball down. All right, so they take 6 seconds off the shot clock. So now the Lakers will inbound again. Wow, this is downright comical. Or it would be comical if it wasn't so sad all the time. And now the shot clock just is not working.
I like that. You can stop it there.
Looks at the table and says, I'm too old for this.
You know what? This needs Benny Hill music.
Yeah. I love how they're like, this would be comical if it wasn't so sad.
It'd be comical if it had Benny Hill music, yeah.
And the other mishap over the weekend as far as technical difficulties, Atlantic 10 Championship, courtesy of CBS. Listen to Kevin Harlan.
My goodness. Oh, my gosh. They got confetti falling right now. Confetti is falling on the floor. They're going to have to stop playing. We can't see our notes. The players can't work on this court. Confetti is everywhere. Somebody hit the wrong button.
They sure did.
Did someone hit that button? You ever see when a light switch is taped and it says don't turn on and you're so tempted to be like, oh, really?
Is that a whoopsie doodle or a whoopsie daisy?
Both, I think.
Is that a write-up and it goes in your file or an instant firing?
I don't know. But that happened as well. So it got us thinking about the most memorable tech issues in sports
or random
mishaps.
In
life. Yeah, random mishaps. We had one today. Again, like Rich said, we're doing our podcast, COVINO Rich on Patreon, and it gets all wonky. Wonky is a good word to describe this, right? And the feed, the Wi-Fi going in and out, and we're just like, what the hell? What is going on?
Yeah.
And you said that there was a...
The whole valley here in Los Angeles, the Spectrum stinks.
Right, like a citywide sort of issue. So makes us think back at those times. Our buddy Al B's in the studio, and Al B was like, yo, how about in 89, the World Series? I mean, it was an earthquake,
nature.
but we do remember, like, oh, wait, what in the hell?
The World Series. It went out.
Silly mishap. Did you mean an earthquake?
I mean, still, it went out, though. When the TV goes fuzzy, you're like, what in the hell? What's going on?
Well,
but I'll tell you what, like, Rich, I feel like I'm the savior anytime my parents have any sort of tech issues going on. Most of the time, 99% of the time, it's operator error because they don't know how to do anything at this stage of their life. But I come in, I fix it all, and I feel like the hero. So that's my role in this.
Oh, just the other day, my dad said, Richard, you filled in for Colin Cowherd. I can't find the podcast anywhere.
I don't know how to do it. It's not working.
You wait right there, Dad.
Yeah.
Like 5 seconds later, I sent it to him.
Yep. Tech
Savior.
issues. Tech issues. That's what we're talking about. 877-99 on Fox, at Covino and Rich on social media.
I'll take it one step further.
You know what I hate, Rich? The IT guy at work. No offense to the engineer types that work here in radio, but they always come to you with that pompous sort of attitude like you're the dumbest guy going because you can't fix it, right? You can't figure it out.
You are pretty dumb, though.
Yeah, I know, but I don't need their IT attitude to remind me.
You don't need them to confirm?
Yeah, exactly.
I want to open this up not just to the delays and technical issues, Covino. What about funny reasons a game had to stop? Because I think a lot of the things I'm thinking of, and I'm not talking about a streaker on the field or some bozo college kid running on the field. I'm talking there have been times where, like, an animal's in the outfield. And, like, they can't get this squirrel for the life of it. Like a squirrel or a skunk or something just happens to be in the field of play. Those are always funny. And you were talking about the 80s, and you said 89 with the earthquake of the World Series. Do you remember at the 86 Mets Red Sox World Series, some dude came in a parachute, landed on the field?
That was Stern-related, I believe. It was a crazy Stern fan. Yeah, I think so, yeah. If I remember correctly. I could be wrong.
I don't remember that being Howard Stern-related at all.
Look it up.
But I will. But he landed on the field. They didn't tackle him or anything because back then it was more like, hijinks. Like, think about it. Back in the day, the woman would run on the field and kiss players.
Morgana, the kissing bandit.
But this guy...
I had the hots for her, man. I was like, Cal Ripken's so lucky, dude.
This guy ran and was escorted through the Mets dugout. He high-fived Ron Darling.
I totally remember.
So let's go to JP in upstate New York. JP, in the world of sports, what comes to mind? Technical issues, weird reasons you had to stop a game. What's up, man?
Well, I'll tell you, you guys added in that last category, kind of an A-B category.
Yeah.
So I'm going to make these real quick so we can give a lot of callers a chance to get in. One time during an NFL game, the wired camera, the sky cam, the wire broke, almost hit a player and fell on the field.
I remember that.
They had to...
Oh, we lost
it. Oh, we lost it.
A long time ago in Baltimore Memorial Stadium, the old Baltimore Stadium where the Colts played, an aircraft, a small little Piper Cub or Cessna, crashed into the upper deck. Now, this was after the game. There was, nobody in the stands, but they showed that highlight during the second half of the day for the games. And then, do you guys remember that? Because you might not be that old.
I don't remember that one, but I remember the first one for sure.
Rich is that old. He just doesn't remember.
I'm 78.
Thank you, man.
Greg,
thanks for the call.
In Ohio. What's up, Greg? What comes to mind, Greg?
I got a couple. I'll make them quick, too. There's been a few games in the NHL where the lights have gone out in the middle of the game, and they had to stop and get them fixed. And there was it a Tyson fight where the guy parachuted down and landed, like, in the third row?
Oh, maybe that was it. Yeah, maybe that's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, but I remember. Yes, I totally remember that. That happens. It happens a lot, unfortunately.
I know it's wrestling, and you might say, well, that's sports entertainment, but it could have been boxing or wrestling. Do you remember one time where the ring, fell apart? When the ropes get all flimsy? Something happened where they had to, stop a big event.
Oh, that's because George the Animal...
he must have ate the turnbuckle.
He got to him early on.
That's what it was. Jack in PA. What's up, Jack? Covino and Rich.
Hey, Christmas party my wife and I were having with about 150 people in our house, 3 floors of TVs. It was, I think, a Felix Trinidad and De La Hoya fight that I pay-per-viewed for everyone. And in the middle of the fight, porn came on every TV in the house.
Oh, my goodness. That's
and
the
then
worst.
Everyone just got naked. It was the craziest party at Jack's house. Thank you, Jack.
That's the worst.
I think I'm surprised no one's gone to this one. You guys remember, I think it was the Nuggets game. They lowered the mascot down from the rafters and the person in the mascot suit had passed out.
Yeah, we've talked about that on the show before.
Oh my God, that's right. I remember that.
It's scary, but it's
dude, that is the weirdest clip,
Perfett. The funniest part of that is the dancers, the Nugget girls around him. They keep dancing. Yeah, they keep dancing. They don't skip a beat.
It was like a Weekend at Bernie's promo. It was so weird.
It's a ritual dance to revive Rocky. Rocky will come back to life. We just must dance harder.
You know, I mean, it's more of an obvious answer, but you know, Shaquille O'Neal a few times shattered a backboard, and that'll disrupt the game. Like if you're at a game, they're pretty quick about it, but you still have you still have to wheel out a new backboard and put it up, make sure it's measured right, it's straight, and everything. So
delay of game. And by the way, this was this weekend at the Lakers game, 21-minute delay. How weak. And that feels like 41 minutes. An hour and 21 minutes when people are when people are there trying to figure out what's going on, how to get the clock working again.
So get this, Michael Sergio was the guy that parachuted into Game 6 of the World Series, the game Buckner.
Yeah.
Think of the butterfly effect. If that doesn't happen, right?
Yeah.
Does everything happen in the same sequence?
I'm looking at it now. I totally remember.
Meaning, if all it takes, like that changes pitch selection, innings moving forward. So a guy in a parachute.
It was top of the first inning, though.
But I'm saying it sort of changes the whole vibe of the game, right? All right. Well, hey, he was fined $500 and had to do a little community service. No real punishment.